Well, hello there. With this video, we turn our attention to unhappy and happy animal and plant cells. So let's look at the animal cells first. Gee, which one's the happy one? Well, is the shriveled? No. Is the exploding one? No. Must be this one that looks like a nice little fried egg. It's happy. Now, what makes it happy? Well, I'd like you to explain this right now in terms of water movement. We see evenly balanced arrow here, not arrow out, not arrow in, evenly balanced. What is that in terms of water movement? We say it's balanced water movement. I will not ask you any of these terms across the top of the page, so you can ignore those, but I could ask you these ones across the bottom. So in terms of water movement, what makes an animal cell the very happiest? It's when water movement is what? It is balanced. Now let's turn our attention to plant cells. Gee, where's the happy plant cell? Well, we've got pictures of plants here. Now, that doesn't look too happy. Oh, that looks bad. That looks bad. Where's the that's the plasma membrane we see right here. Where's it supposed to be? It's supposed to be pressed against the inside of the cell wall. So this is a decidedly unhappy plant cell here. And is it hydrated or dehydrated? Well, gee, it's pretty dry. It's lost a lot of water. Water's come out. You see water coming out, and so the plant cell is dehydrated. Well, this plant cell looks a lot happier right here, and that plant looks a lot happier than that plant. But which is the happiest plant of all? We need to keep moving over to the right side over here. We've got a plant cell that's a plant that's nice and straight up and down, and we see something different about the cell walls, the way this is drawn, than over here. These cell walls are what compared to these? They are bulging. And in both cases, the plasma membrane is up against the inside of the cell wall, but in this case, there's a lot of water pressure inside the cell. The cell walls are bulging, but the plant cell will not pop like we have up here, not explode. Because why? Well, because the cell walls will keep it from doing so. So in terms of water movement, when is a plant cell happiest? Well, that's when there is not balance. No, plant cell's happy, fairly happy, but not super happy. A plant cell is happiest when there is net movement of water into the cell. What was that again? Net movement of water into the cell. When there's more water coming in than going out, the cell walls are bulging. Plant cells operate best when there is a high water pressure inside the plant cell. So let's look at this picture of real plant cells. Is this a happy plant cell or an unhappy? Well, we see the cell wall. Here's a cell wall coming down here. What are these green things inside the cell again? They are, what are those green things? Chloroplasts, involved in what? Photosynthesis. And they are spread out fairly evenly throughout the cell. The plasma membrane is up against the inside of the cell wall. Now what about these plant cells? Same plant, still see the cell wall. Ooh, not so happy. Not so happy. We see this shriveled up. Everything's kind of shriveled up into a smaller little area. And finally these, oh my goodness, these are very unhappy plant cells. Again, we see the plant cell walls, but now we have this little shriveled up entity here that used to be spread out throughout the entire plant cell. What's this boundary around this shriveled up part? Well, it's the old plasma membrane. Oh my goodness. Unless this plant cell gets hit by a lot of water real quick, it's a goner. A very unhappy plant cell. So, plant cells, unhappy, happy, happy. And so let's review it again. When are animal cells happiest in terms of water movement? When there is balanced water movement, the same amount of water coming and going into and out of the plant cell. When is a plant cell happiest in terms of water movement? When there's a net movement of water into the cell. And that's the story. All right, that's it.